Jay here for Stretford, Paddock. Southampton 0, Manchester United 3. Yes, count them. 3 goals to 0 for the mighty Reds. Joining me for the review, as always, is Mr. Joe Smith. Make sure you are hitting like, share, and subscribe. Get involved in the chat and the comments. We want to hear from you guys as well. Joseph.
Yes.
If we can go back, cast our minds back to what seems like an eternity ago, where the match began, Erik ten Hag's under pressure. The team are under pressure.
Yeah.
It's like, this could be a crucial game. And for the first 25, 30 minutes, Southampton had a lot of the ball, got at United, got a penalty, and it looked like, at one point, it was going to be potentially, and I don't mean to sound melodramatic, but let's be honest, Erik ten Hag's last game, because, as a United manager, because we were under all sorts of pressure, and then Southampton get a penalty. And it was worrying, wasn't it?
Yeah. Up till that point, it had gone exactly the way that we'd spoken about it going in the build-up. In the build-up this week, we've been speaking about how Southampton keep the ball really well. I think they'd averaged 68% possession in their 3 games so far this season. They'd been a little bit unlucky not to get more points out of those, which was 0 before today, and it continues to be 0. They're a good team on the ball. They've got weaknesses, but you're going to have to withstand some spells of pressure and some spells of them having possession. And the problem with United is we aren't good at that. It's the exact thing that we struggle with because we're so weak in confidence. We're so lacking confidence over season after season of sort of misery and upset. United, when the opposition has the ball, we can never see that as pressure, but we can contain it. We can sit deep, and that doesn't necessarily mean that the opposition is going to batter us. We really struggle when opposition have the ball and they press high. And we make mistakes and we get flustered and we start, oh God, it's happening again. And for the first 30 minutes or so, I was worried that it was happening again, or 25, whatever it was. It was almost like that penalty was the lifeline that United needed in this game. Because as soon as Onana saved that, and we'll get into that and how important that was, as soon as United saved that penalty and Onana pushed that ball away, we completely dominated the game. And I don't mean that in like, United with a better team. United, I think, had 16 shots after that, scored 3 goals. Southampton didn't have a shot. They didn't test Onana once after that penalty was saved. This is how big moments can be in games. And people talk about disallowed goals and goals that should have gone in and didn't, like penalties. Usually they go in and they didn't. The same thing happened against United again in the Brighton game. We go 2-1 up, the goal's disallowed, and after that, Brighton completely dominate us and win the game. Big moments happen, and Onana needs a lot of credit for today because whilst he didn't have that much to do, I think they had 3 shots on target all game, he has won us that game almost today. Saving that penalty completely flipped it on its head, and after that, we were brilliant. United were brilliant, and we shouldn't let the first 30 minutes, we should incorporate it in how we think of the game, but we shouldn't let it cloud what was otherwise a brilliant performance. And the way they kept pushing and the way they got that 3rd goal late on, the sort of thing we've been asking United to do more of, not just slowing down and being happy with a close win like a 2-0. We kept going and we dominated Southampton. And yes, it's Southampton, and for some of the game they were down to 10 men. But United played really well for large portions of the game today, and we needed that. We needed the win. We needed that kind of performance. And we've shown the ability that a team like Southampton, who obviously they're not a top team in the Premier League, but they have certain traits that are very good. Their ability to keep the ball, their ability to win the ball high up the pitch is excellent. The fact that we can nullify that and go on to dominate it ourselves, I think in the end United had close to 60% possession today, is really, really encouraging. And we'll get into certain performances, but just overall, really, really happy with what we saw today. Yeah, massively happy.
Get involved in the chat and the comments. I agree with that. Vasily Dalot, welcome to the academy. New member. Matthias Anderson, who's been a member for 45 months, which is phenomenal. Says great win. Really worried over defensive. Get my words out. Injuries though. Yeah, there's a few players that we'll get into look like they might have picked up a knock. Mark Whiteley says think they all look good today. Even Casemiro had a decent cameo. Rashi with a few smiles is dangerous, but not for us. Zirkzee looks promising. Some people, like most people, are being positive. Brian Casey says we were so comfortable. Southampton played like a team that is going down, literally offered nothing in that second half. I mean, yeah, quite a lot of people agree with that. Graham Sharkey says, "Court, I don't think we were brilliant, but given the context of our previous performances, perhaps it was." I think for that first half hour, you kind of got what you expected from Southampton. It was annoying that United couldn't get a foothold in the game because I expect Southampton to have a lot of the ball, to come at us. They're at home. They're under pressure themselves. Russell Martin's under pressure. I was chatting to a Southampton fan last night and said even though they just got promoted and he got them promoted, the fans were getting a bit sort of aggy because they'd lost every game, and you don't want to be in the Premier League just to lose games. You want to compete. So he's under a little bit of pressure himself. But it was getting annoying the way we were giving the ball away so cheaply, where we were making them look like, prime Messi and Maradona. Then you get that penalty save from Andre Onana, which is a good save as well. I mean, listen, you can't take penalty saves for granted. We all know that from the Villarreal game, don't we? Do you know what I mean? It's not like your goalkeeper's always guaranteed to save a penalty. You said, is it 80% success rate from a penalty, or it's like an XG of 0.8 or whatever? Yeah. So credit to Andre Onana, and then what we want to see from United is that sort of resilience and that belief and that ability to keep going and to bounce back from a shaky start, and we did that. And the players that stood out for me, and by all means get involved in the chat in the comments and let us know you were. You mentioned Dalot, he was great. Diallo, I thought throughout the game was just a threat, and I just can't get over how good Mazraoui is. How the fuck have we got him for, what was it,
12 million quid?
What is going on there? You can't get anyone. Now, you can't get a League 2 player for fucking 12 million.
You can't get on the bus for that.
No, you can't. And we've got a player who so far has looked mint. He was everywhere. He's so good on the ball. He takes the ball off the attackers with ease. Again, he looked like he might have had an injury issue at the end, so we will get. That's
one of the reasons we got him for 12 million quid. Unfortunately,
is his injury record? Yeah. Even so, I mean, fucking hell, he's class. And so far, he's showed why the manager basically was more or less willing to let Aaron Wan-Bissaka go and bring in someone like Mazraoui because he seems more suited to him. I don't want to be negative, but Dalot was having more money early.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So, going back to the start of the game, and hit that like button, please, people. Almost 3,000 people watching. Let's get at least 1,000 likes on the board. Dalot was having one of those games where you just need him to just have 5 minutes of not doing anything bad. Just like keep the ball for 5 minutes, or just do a few simple passes, or just not do anything shaky. But then at the end of all his bad spell was the penalty. It sort of got worse, didn't it? And I think it was a massive relief, obviously, for him as well, that penalty save, because he then settled a bit, didn't he? He sort of got himself a little bit more composed, because he wasn't anywhere near as bad after that first half hour. No. But that was, for a player we all like as well, that was a shaky one.
Yeah, he started really badly, and we said after 15, 20 minutes that he's having a poor game. He's getting skinned. There was one time where their player sort of had him, he was on the outside of Dalot, near the touchline, and he knocked it in sort of 5-10 yards, and it was basically a straight sprint between him and Dalot, and Dalot had the inside line already because he was goal side, and he lost it by about 2 yards. And from that point, it felt like Dalot was sort of running in quicksand and struggling to keep up with the pace of the game. Like you said, it almost sort of culminated in this penalty given away. And it's a stupid penalty to give away because, yes, he's getting past you, but it was right on the side of the penalty box, near the touchline. It wasn't like, he's dangerous, we need to stop a certain goal here, I'm just going to throw something at it and I fouled him. It was diving in stupidly when the man is getting into a dangerous area, but he's not about to wind up for a shot 6 yards out. It's an unnecessary penalty to give away. And luckily, like I said, Onana saved that penalty and everything changed after that. And Dalot will be breathing a sigh of relief, and hopefully he's, giving a big pat on the back to Onana, because he saved his skin today with what could have been a disastrous performance that we were talking about, like the Casemiro one. Because the difference between, someone having the worst game of their career and, we had a bad 30 minutes, is did you lose or not? If we'd have lost the game 1-0 today and it's that penalty, Dalot's being spoken about like we need to sell him. Now it's, right, get those 25 minutes behind you, that was a stinker. We need to see the Dalot that we've seen most of the last sort of 6 or 7 months. But he'll be massively relieved. Another player I want to talk about is Zirkzee, who you can, on one angle, if you want to be critical, and maybe we should be, he should have scored again today. There's a couple of times he had brilliant chances. One was that one where he's sliding in with his left foot, and if he just gets a bit more on it, puts it back toward the near post, it's a clear goal. And then the second one, he's in the box, and, well, what was the second one now?
Marcus.
No, Zirkzee's second big chance that he should have scored in the second half.
Not the one where the defender's leg, not that one, at the death.
Maybe.
There was one where you thought he was... Because there was one in the first half, wasn't there? Where
yeah, that's it. Sorry, yeah. So in the second half...
Ramsdale.
Yeah, that's the one I've just said. So the one after that, he's got the ball in a similar position, actually. Yeah. And again, he goes back in that same post. And this time the defender blocks it when he had the whole goal open on the other side. Apologies, I sort of forgot as I was going there. He's had another 2 big chances today. He had 2 big chances against Liverpool, the header and the volley at the back post. He had the big chance as well I say big chance, the good chance that he scored against Fulham in the first game. So he's having a lot of really good chances. But the thing for me that is excellent about him, his build-up play was fantastic today.
Yeah.
No, and at times really against Liverpool, where he looked a bit slow and he looked like he was getting to the pace of the game, he looked well on top of the pace today. And he's getting the ball, he's bringing others in, he's turning it around the corner, he's slowing the game down, keeping possession. I was really, really impressed with his build-up today. Even though it wasn't sort of goals and assists flooded, he helped United's attack keep the ball and find chances over and over again. You were talking about sort of his style of play, and I know Firmino's.
I think with the Firmino, I don't really like. I never, big fan of Firmino, but the scouts always made that point of when they were winning matches and they were scoring goals. He might not always score the goals, but he was linking up with the likes of Salah and Mane and creating chances for them. And they always used to go on about how good he was on the ball. And with Zirkzee, yes, he didn't get a goal today, but he was involved in almost everything positive that United did attack-wise. Yeah. He links up well with the likes of Marcus and Dalot. He's got such quick feet. And yet he's strong as well. And he's just from a sort of aesthetic point of view, just to watch him, he's an enjoyable player to watch. And he does seem to be like almost an attacker's dream, because he's not always looking just to get his shot off. He will give it to someone if they're in a better position. He will link up the play. He does put the shift in, a shift in as well. So there's a lot to like about him. But ultimately, if I was to have a little gripe, it's that he should have ended up with a goal today. And in his last 2 games, he should have more goals. But he's still only his second start for Manchester United?
Yeah.
Well, let's not.
And he has scored.
He has scored. So I just want to get in some comments before we move on. Martin P said, haters need to get a life. He's been a member of the academy for 33 months. Big improvement even in losses. Time to gel, and this team will hopefully do things. Support, not hate. Clark Fennell, welcome to the academy. He's a new member. Akash K says, Bruno Menu are exhausted, largely ineffective. Did look a little bit goosed at times. They had a lot of running to do though as well. Chiku says, to be fair, not just Zirkzee, but all our forwards except Højlund are either trigger shy, hesitate too much, or miss clear cut chances. Mark Whiteley says, if only Bruno could play deeper. Imagine Zirkzee in the 10 with Højlund up top. See, there's some people who are still not having it. Like Kreitz Politsi says, critics silenced after a win against one of the 3 worst sides in the league. It's hard to take you guys seriously with hyperbole like that. Like, you've got to look at it from what was at stake at this game, going into this game, right? United are under pressure. The manager is under pressure. And we didn't just win. It wasn't like a 1-0 and it's a bit of a smash and grab. For the last 45 minutes in particular,
65
minutes, we just dominated the game. It's a dominant performance. Yeah. And listen, I've seen us under Sir Alex Ferguson go to Southampton when they've been bottom of the table and lose. Yeah. I know we've got a very good record at St Mary's, but I have seen us get bad results at Southampton. And let's have it right. This is a team that are desperate for some points themselves and can play football. And it would have been it could well have been easily one of those games where we're sat here going, it was a 0-0 or a 1-0 or whatever, or it was a testing time. And instead, it's a good win, a very good performance for the last hour, and loads of players. If you go through that team, Onana, Mazraoui, Dalot, Martinez, Dalot, Diallo, Zirkzee, Rashford. There's loads of players you go, had a very good game. Yeah. Like, it wasn't like you had a pretty average game and then you had 1 or 2 moments from, Bruno pops up with a goal or whatever. It was a good team performance. I'm going to get in some more comments and come back to you.
Just on that as well, sorry, just before we move on to other comments, which obviously we will do. Like, the critics were talking about United's inability to score goals, Ten Hag's inability to get a tune out of his team, like inability to control matches. And obviously Southampton had a good opening sort of 25 minutes. But like we said before, we had, 15 unanswered shots to end the game. The last sort of 65 minutes, Southampton didn't have a single shot on United's goal. United had loads, could have possibly scored more goals even. Like, I don't think it's unfair to say that we silenced a few critics there, because this is the sort of performance that it's not just like, every other week we do this but then we lose. We haven't had many performances like this for the last 12, 13 months.
Well, just
since
on
Ten
that,
Hag's first season, we haven't had many games like this.
we were talking about Marcus Rashford in particular had to step up. This is my Roderick says, Rashford needed this. Ten Hag needed this. Do you think this will shut up the insane fake online fans trying to be edgy? Southampton bought a start. You cannot win every game, but United can show passion. Listen, I think you can be sort of measured with it. You can say, look, yeah, Southampton aren't one of the best teams. They're 19 for a reason, but that's a good performance. That's what we needed. Brian Casey says, exactly, Jay, that's what Zirkzee's been brought in for. We're talking about Zirkzee's link-up play. Just with Højlund's injuries, he's being forced to play there. Basil the Great says, I think we miss Mason Mount. The press has disappeared without him. Also, Matthew Lovett says, at the game with my Saints supporting mate, cracking performance all round other than the pen. No one put a foot wrong in my opinion. Also as well, Nomad Joe says Zirkzee didn't score a ton of goals at Bologna. A full named Huggett says good to see the forwards firing. Paul Smith says not going to argue that Dalot didn't have a poor game, but he still did finish with 2 assists. I'll take that. I didn't even realise that, to be fair to you, kid. Joining us is Adam McKola is here. Yes, Macca. How are we doing? How's your ankle, first of all? Because you hurt yourself celebrating,
My ankle's a bit better now. The skin's growing back. But I've just noticed Joel's seat's much more comfortable than ours.
Oh, yeah, he has a special cushion.
At least it feels that way.
That was in his contract.
That's the one Jay for the watch along.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Why have I got a dodgy seat? But anyway,
that's just what
good win today, isn't it?
How often do we say that as United fans? A good win and a good performance.
50% of the time, we say it all the time.
Exactly. Can't argue those stats. We've been talking about Zirkzee, we've been talking about Mazraoui, we've been talking about Dalot, we've been talking about Marcus. Who stood out for you? Who's your player?
I thought Mazraoui was excellent, and seeing him injured towards the end of the game there, where he seemed to be like struggling to get up off the bench, which didn't look good.
No, it didn't.
I was a little bit worried about that because he was fantastic today, especially when you contrast that with Dalot's first half performance. Now, that doesn't mean I'm writing Dalot off, but he's clearly not quite at it at the moment. Yeah. And I thought he had a bad first 45 minutes. Recovered a little bit in the second half. I was saying that with Joel, but I felt like he wasn't really tested in the second half as much as he was in the first. But Mazraoui was absolutely phenomenal. I thought Dalot's performance was really impressive. And for him to come back from international duty, where he's kind of been made to be the scapegoat for Holland, it doesn't help when your captain's chucking you under the bus, despite the fact he made the mistake. But to see him come back for us, we keep a clean sheet, which was down to him. Because in the first half, he sticks his foot out, or his head out, when the ball seemingly was destined. Remember when Dalot got done on the edge of the box?
Yeah.
And it was getting curled into the corner, and he sticks his foot out and makes sure it's not 1-0 to them. And then he puts us 1-0 up. I thought he was responsible for us staying 0-0, and then obviously getting into the front in the first half. To see Marcus Rashford score, I thought he deserved a couple of assists against Liverpool. Probably should have had a goal or two already this season. To see him pop up with a goal like that, and it was a fantastic goal too. It wasn't something that he snatched at. It wasn't something he didn't really have to think about. He bent it into the corner. Great goal. I thought it was a really, really good goal from him, and good to see him score that. Playing with a smile on his face is important to see from him. Lissandro Martinez, I thought he impressed again.
He almost went under the radar. I just mentioned him then. Yeah, he was forget because he just looks confident. And
Onana with a couple of big saves in the first half, 100%. Including the penalty. Ugarte, when he come on, looked good in terms of just keeping it real simple, winning the ball back, passing it on. I liked what I seen from him. It's good now that we've got him, and we've got Casemiro, and we've got Eriksen, and we've got Collier, because I do think at some point Kobbie Mainoo needs to be rested. I don't want to see Kobbie Mainoo playing against Barnes.
No, I don't want to see him in the squad,
sure.
To be honest.
Zirkzee's performance again, really impressive. All but scoring the goal.
Yeah, it's a shame he deserved one. Clark Fennell you mentioned Ugarte then, says, can we talk about how good Ugarte's cameo was? He won every tackle and made us look so secure in midfield. Also, up the RH, Ryan Hopper, who was coaching Rashford in the international break, need him in Carrington. Rishi Kamath says, how can anyone say online fans are fake? I live in India, been a United fan for 21 years. Non-match going fans contribute more to the revenue. I think the point earlier someone was making, I don't think the point was that all our online fans are fake. I think he was saying that some online fans have been sort of having a dig when it's unnecessary. This is my Roderick says, hello Adam, how's it going? You're happy, aren't you, McKola?
Yeah, I'm happy, man. I'm always happy when Manchester United win. I was on a proper depression session after the first couple of weeks. It doesn't help when you lose 2 out of the 3 games. I thought there was some like, you put context to the Brighton game, I don't think that was as bad as people make out. But the Liverpool game was really, really bad.
Do you want me to make you even happier? Just for a bit. We'll enjoy it for a few minutes. City are losing.
Against Brentford.
Just for the 5 minutes or so.
They had some bad results against Brentford, you know.
Yeah, so Brentford are winning against City. We'll enjoy it for the 30 seconds or whatever before Erling Haaland sort of bags his obligatory hat-trick. Kazmofo says, important 3 points. Easy win after that Onana save. Forward plays were great. The mentality changed. We have quality, but Mainu got bullied. I think that's a little bit harsh. Kieran King says, can't argue, Dalot will be a future United captain. He's got the cobblers to be our leader. I love that. Glenn F., who's been a member of the Academy for 42 months, which is fantastic, possibly, says, all I know was that after 2 goals, we were cruising. Mazraoui was excellent. Dalot is playing on the wrong side. Marcus, what a goal. Gotta say, up the RH.
Up your RH?
So, it's Barnsley in it next game. Is that the Carabao Barnsley? What do you do? Is it children and resis?
No, not children. I played Dalot.
Yeah.
Hopefully let him get out of this funk. I'd play Maguire. I'd play Collier, actually. I'd stick him maybe like a Casemiro, Collier. It's a shame you haven't got Mount. Or maybe you give Ugarte his debut alongside Casemiro and Collier or something like that. Up top, I'd go Ghana. Is Højlund back?
Possibly.
He was kind of training, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't know how.
Or maybe even play Rashford and go on Rashford, score a hat-trick against
Well, he thrived off that 2 seasons ago, Rashford, didn't he? Playing in those games, because he kept scoring. Do you remember when he equalled Dennis Violet's record for goals at Old Trafford? And some of those goals, like Charlton in the Carabao Cup, whatever it was, he was just kept scoring. And sometimes when he's in that sort of form, I know he's only got 1 goal, but it might be a good idea to keep him going.
Rashford, you know.
I
know we get criticised a lot for loving Marcus Rashford, innit? And I know there's some players I just ain't got no time for anymore. But Marcus Rashford will never be one of those. I've got so much time. Sometimes when I see him, it's like I tried to in the mix zone at one point on pre-season. I tried to just give him a big hug.
Yeah.
They didn't let me near him. But he's someone I just want to hug him and go, Marcus, you're the man, bruv.
Yeah,
like,
this is it.
Don't listen to all these knobheads. Just focus on the people that love you.
The people that love you.
And I am one of them. I also feel like, as a club, we should rally around him. Like, we seem to just don't have any love for people anymore.
Oh, no.
I know it's because we're shit and we haven't won anything in a while. Well, we won the FA Cup, but we haven't won the league in a while and all that. But Marcus Rashford's one of those that we should be rallying around.
100%, man.
And if we're not careful, Kobbie Mainoo will become like that. We'll be looking at Kobbie Mainoo in 5 years like, here's the problem when he's not.
Well, Mark Wiley on that point says Mainoo didn't get bullied. Shattered long season for him last season, plus the Euros. The lad needs a rest, which we will hopefully get now.
He best not play against Barnsley and he best not play against FC 20.
I agree. Jesus Christ says, I've got to say, Leacher was an absolute monster. I'm going to wrap it up there. Big thank you to Adam McKola, Joe Smith as well, who's there. Me and Joe are going to be back later on. We're going to have all the quotes from Eric Ten Hag's interviews, post-match press conference as well. Plus, we'll have a bit more of a tactical breakdown of how Manchester United got that 3-0 win at St Mary's. Go and check out Adam McKola as well on his own channel. He's got his review there.
I'll tell you how.
Go on.
We stuck the fucking onion in the onion bag. Real simple.
Simple football, simple people. That's been Adam McKola. Joe Smith's off camera. Big thank you to him as well. Thank you to everyone that's got involved in the chat and the comments. I'm Jay Motty. One last quote here, one last comment, from Ellen says, Ten Hag knows what he's doing and all the new signings are delivering. Couple more windows and we will see Ten Hag a ball shine.
Give him 10 more players.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. Thanks for watching.
21's coming.